Hello guys and welcome back to Everdream. Today it's all about fighting, and who doesn't love a good fight scene? I know I do. That's why I'm looking forward to Marvel's Shang-Chi and his deadly hands of Kung Fu to grace the silver screens. But the movie is still a while away, so I thought it best we take a list of the top 10 undisputed best fighters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we have been introduced to so far. For this list, I will be considering not just the movies but the TV shows related to the MCU as well, with emphasis placed not on who would win in a fight, but who is the most technically proficient fighter. To that end, I will try my best to separate the advantages certain superpowers, like super strength, speed, or reflexes gives a certain character in a fight, from the character's own actual fighting skills. Also, characters who are reputed to be great fighters in the cinematic universe, and are in fact some of the best fighters in the comics, but are not really shown performing any truly impressive feats that stand out in the cinematic universe, will only be considered based on the feats they have displayed thus far. So if a character you expect to be on this list isn't, or one you expect to be ranked higher is not, then that's the reason. Please, I beg you, take this into account before you hit the comment section. Okay, one last thing before I begin. I just want to thank you guys for your support. To everyone who has subscribed to me, it means a lot. Thanks. I really appreciate all you guys have done. You're the best. And for those new viewers here, I ask that you please leave a like rating and share my video, as it helps me out a lot too. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as this encourages me to keep making these quality videos. You can also click on the notification bell to get notified of my next video release. This really helps me out and I would really appreciate it. Without wasting any more time, let's get on with this video. Number 10. Black Panther. As the Prince of Wakanda, T'Challa was groomed to take on the mantle of the warrior king known as Black Panther. To that effect, he was trained in all manner of fighting arts, both armed and unarmed, including sword fighting and wrestling. The result of which has him become a brilliant fighter, one that has bested the likes of the Chitauri and Thanos' Outriders, and even outclassed the Winter Soldier, who himself is a straight-up Terminator. Even without his enhanced strength and speed, he is shown to be a formidable fighter, as he demonstrated in his fight with both M'Baku and Killmonger. And though his hesitation to kill his newly found cousin would cause him the first fight between them, their rematch clearly showed T'Challa's more than capable of defeating his highly trained cousin. Number 9. Thor Odinson. As a centuries-old alien that was once worshipped as a god of war, Thor is unsurprisingly a master of armed and unarmed combat. And while his sheer brute force is strong enough to kill literal giants with a single crushing blow, he has consistently shown that he's no mere brawler. He's fast enough to deflect incoming laser gun fire and nimble enough to pull off acrobatic maneuvers in the middle of a fight. He has also been shown outclassing other immortals like Loki, who himself is a decent fighter, as well as powerhouses like the Hulk, whose strength dwarfs even his own. Even his invincible older sister Hela, despite her greater physical power and experience, would have been outright killed by Thor if not for her invulnerability, all before he needed to resort to his lightning. All these showings and his sheer centuries worth of combat experience makes it clear he deserves a place on this list. Number 8. Daisy Johnson, aka Quick. Despite being one of the few people on this list who didn't grow up with a background in martial arts, Daisy Johnson can throw down with the best of them. But I suppose it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, given that she was taught by none other than Melinda May herself. As a result of this training, along with the considerable fighting experience she has gained since joining S.H.I.E.L.D., Daisy has grown to be an exceptionally formidable fighter, one that is fully capable of taking down a room full of highly trained enemy agents solo. She has also on several occasions taken down opponents who possess beyond human capabilities, such as the various mechanically enhanced androids and robots she has had to face, along with the warriors of different alien races who are usually physically superior to humans, like the Kree or the Chronicoms. Her numerous wins against these various extraordinary opponents gets her a solid place on this list. Number 7. Black Widow. This should come as no surprise, as S.H.I.E.L.D's top specialist Natasha Romanoff possesses a very particular set of skills. I mean, not many people can boast they beat 3 grown men while tied to a freaking chair. Such skills are the fruits of the training she received in the infamous Red Room. where even as a child she was pitted against multiple full-grown men and expected to win, which she often did. She can now cut through groups of highly trained operatives with machine-like efficiency. She owes much of this to her fighting style, which heavily relies on grappling, which she uses to manhandle opponents bigger and stronger than herself. With her skills, she has bested exceptional fighters like Hawkeye and even superhumans like the Chitauri Riders, Thanos' elites like Corvus Glaive, and even Ultron. Number 6. Elektra. Apprenticed by the man known only as Stick, Elektra is a rare talent of a fighter, trained to fight in the Chase Shadow War against the Immortal Hand. Elektra is proficient in many different forms of fighting, including grappling and, most famously, the use of blades. Even as a child, she displayed a profound aptitude for the martial arts, so much so that her mentor Stick had no issue demonstrating this by pitting her against multiple older fighters. Fully confident of her chance at victory, a victory she delivered. And her skills have only sharpened since. Much like Daredevil, she is completely comfortable going into fights bare-handed, disarming and beating down multiple armed opponents with little difficulty. And with her strength enhanced by the hand to levels that rival those of Jessica Jones, she was able to take both Jones and the invulnerable Luke Cage on at the same time and totally dominate them, a testament to her flawless skill. Number 5. Melinda May. As one of S.H.I.E.L.D's top specialists, saying Melinda May is highly trained is a massive understatement. May's knowledge of combat is far-ranging and extensive. In fact, she possesses mastery over more fighting styles than even the notorious Black Widow herself. And much like Black Widow, she regularly takes on multiple opponents at once, but that's just scratching the surface of what she's capable of. In addition to outfighting exceptionally skilled fighters like Grant Ward and Agent 33 and Daisy Johnson, she's fought and defeated warriors from several alien races as well, all of whom possess strength beyond human, like the Kree and Remorath. But even this doesn't paint the full picture. She's taken down killer androids, held her own against a highly trained telepathic fighter, all while suffering from a crippling leg injury, and she once fought a centuries-old extra-dimensional goddess to a standstill, also while injured. With all this and more under her belt, it's easy to see why so many treat her skills with the reverence that they do. Number 4. Captain America. I don't think anyone is surprised at Steve Rogers' high placement on this list. Made to be the perfect soldier and trained thoroughly in the various arts of war by the US government, Rogers boasts an impressive resume in ass-kicking. He has clearly and consistently shown not everything special about him came out of a bottle, and that his skills as a fighter are worthy of praise. He can cut through waves of armed men with nothing but his shield, take down an elevator full of Hydra's top agents with one arm tied behind his back, and dominate people who are just as strong and as fast as he is, like Thanos' Outriders, the Red Skull, or the Winter Soldier. Hell, he even kicked his own ass. But what truly elevates him as a fighter is he knows how to punch above his weight, such as when he clearly outclassed the much stronger yet inexperienced Spider-Man, easily beat Crossbones in his powered exoskeleton, and went strike for strike against Thanos. Number 3. Danny Rand, the Iron Fist. The man who earned the title of Iron Fist, Danny Rand, is beyond exceptional, possessing extensive training in not just fighting forms, but mastery of his body and life energy, or Chi. Fighting to him has become as natural as breathing. Though he was initially prone to letting his emotions dull his abilities, he has since worked to master them and achieve stillness, which leads to what he calls effortless flow. While in a centered state, he is a force to be reckoned with, so much so that even Bokudo and Murakami, both immortal leaders of the hand, are completely outclassed by his skill, despite their centuries of experience. His achievements extend to defeating other phenomenal fighters like Davos on more than one occasion, once even going toe-to-toe with Davos with a broken leg. He has also defeated some of the hand's most deadly fighters, gone strike for strike with Daredevil, Luke Cage, and the superhumanly strong Elektra, and more. But perhaps his most impressive accomplishment was the one that earned him his status as the Iron Fist. I mean, how many people do you know can kill a dragon with their bare hands? Number 2. Nobu. Not many people can claim they fought Daredevil at his very best and still kicked his ass. Nobu is perhaps the greatest fighter to have ever been produced by the hand. A disciple of the immortal Murakami, Nobu is a master of ninjutsu and he wields the Kyoketsu Shoge blade with deadly proficiency, as Daredevil knows all too well. While admittedly there's not much we know about him due to his limited appearance, I have decided to put him on this list because of how close in skill he was to Daredevil throughout the series. No one has ever pushed Daredevil to the very limits of his abilities, quite like this ninja has. His deadly techniques have also outmatched other fighters of the highest skill, like Elektra. In fact, it was Nobu who killed Elektra after a beatdown he gave to both her and Daredevil at the same time. If that doesn't convince you he deserves the number 2 spot on this list, I don't know what will. Number 1. Daredevil. Regarded as a rare talent by his mentor Stick, who then taught him the basics of unarmed combat and, I kid you not, stick fighting, skill sets he would later expand upon through his own training, Matthew Murdock, the Daredevil, is the undisputed king of fighters in the MCU. His impressive resume in the ass-kicking department paints that picture clear as day. There is nothing no other person on this list can do or has done that Daredevil can't match or outdo. Taking down a group of a dozen men or more, usually after enduring a lot of physical punishment, is just Tuesday for him. This alone would rank him on the top 10, but in addition to this, he has beaten the likes of the Kingpin and Bullseye in an all-out battle royale, held the edge in a fight between the immortals Murakami and Bokuto at the same time, despite their centuries of experience, gone toe-to-toe with the likes of Punisher and Iron Fist, and strike for strike was kicking their asses, and beat down the immortal ninja Nobu on a few occasions. The list goes on. With all this under his belt, Daredevil irreproachably secures the number 1 spot. And that brings my video to a close. I've been wanting to make this list for a while now, but kept putting it off because it involved a ton of research. But it's finally done, and to be honest, I'm a little proud. I think the list does its job in ranking out the fighters, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts and opinions. Was there someone I overlooked or someone you felt needed to be placed higher on this list? Please leave those comments in the comment section below. Also, as of this video's release, the Shang-Chi movie isn't out yet, but when it does come out, where would you place him on this list? I'll be interested to hear your response. As usual, please support my channel by leaving a like rating and sharing my videos to those who you feel would be interested. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you like what I do. I also release videos regularly, just saying. And with that said, see you guys next time.